Well, there were a few very astute viewers who caught a glimpse of this truck sitting in the driveway. And this is what you call an impulse buy.
Now this truck is speaking to me.
Huh?
I said this truck is speaking to me.
Yeah.
Buy me.
Well, it's time to come clean. In this video, I'm going to explain how I came to get this truck. I hoped I can clean it up a little bit, make it look nice, and I'm going to tell you what I plan to do with it. So, right now, it's just time to doll it up a little bit.
Dig Drive DIY!
Regular viewers of this channel know about my affinity for dump trucks. I haven't been without one, or two sometimes, for more than 20 years now. Most recently, I bought Louie, the 1994 Ford L9000 triaxle. That truck replaced my previous triaxle, and it's meant for big jobs where I need to move lots of material. But for the last 5 years, my main dump truck that helps with the majority of my projects has been this 2000 F750 single axle. It was an old salt truck, and when I bought it, I had to make some modifications and dress it up, but I haven't done anything else to it since. It has a Cat diesel engine, an Allison automatic transmission, and a live PTO, which means the PTO is on and active all the time. To raise the bed up, you simply just pull the lever in the cab without the need to engage a gear-driven power takeoff. This truck has done everything I've asked it to, and it does it wonderfully. Really, the only thing it doesn't have that I find myself missing is air conditioning. Although it gets used quite regularly, I've been neglecting it for quite a while now. Nearly 2 years ago, I made a video where I spotlighted this truck and declared that I was going to fix it up and paint it. Well, just after publishing that video, a couple more important projects took priority, and the F750 has been waiting ever since. That rocker and the floor I needed to patch has gotten much worse, and it really deserves to get a paint job if I'm going to keep it. But then, I was cruising Marketplace late one Saturday night, as I often do, and discovered this Sterling single axle. It's a 2003 with a C10 Cat engine and a 10-speed transmission. And I recognized it right away because it once belonged to a local excavating company, and I've always admired their trucks. Matter of fact, I've been in the habit of taking pics of their trucks whenever I see them out and about, just because they inspire me to fix mine up one day. Here is the exact truck that I bought several years ago, working on a job just miles from my house. Doesn't everyone take random pictures of dump trucks as they drive by them? But these Sterlings have been really popular with many local excavators for years now, and I always thought they were really sharp. So when this one popped up less than 10 miles from my house, I couldn't help myself. I messaged them right away, and I was the first one to go see it the very next morning. The price was decent, I knew where the truck came from, and when the owner told me that there were 3 or 4 other people coming to look at it later on that very same day, I let my impulsiveness get the best of me. I'd been saving up for over a year to hopefully buy a tracked skid loader one of these days, and if I used that money with the cash I had from the recent sale of the GMC General, I'd have just enough to buy it. I wasn't sure if I should have, though.
When I bought this truck, I realized it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was going to be an upgrade from my F750. It's got the same exact size bed, it's got a bigger engine and a manual transmission, it's got air conditioning, so a lot of those things are upgrades. However, a few things that were a little bit of a setback to me was the interior was very filthy. It had a few rust spots that needed attention, and overall it just needed fixed up a little bit. It's good enough that it doesn't need a paint job, I don't think. It's very functional as is, but it could use a makeover. We're not going to do a restoration, but so I got my brother Troy Condon to help me get this thing cleaned up a little bit. We'll get that all done and then think about it some more.
This would have went to waste anyway.
This is one of the definite problem areas I'd like to fix up a little bit. I don't like that hole. I don't think it's structurally hurting it too badly. It's just looks bad. So I'm going to get that fixed up. Okay, I'm gonna go cut this off. Yep. Strings are bad news when you're doing stuff like this. Millennial farmer rips them out. That's what I should do. Yeah, put the front on first. Here. Oh, it disintegrates the ball. The ball's all junky. So the ball has gotten old and no good. I'll try a newer ball. I've always wanted to try one of these. They were cheap at Harbor Freight. That doesn't work like I think it should either. I'm gonna have to do some research. I've seen guys polish wheels before and they put the polishing compound on the wheel. When I try to do that, it just disintegrates the buff wheel. Probably got the wrong stuff.
I'm gonna polish this wheel later. I know how I can make the wheel look better and not do anything to it right yet. I always think these really dress it up. Oh yeah. So I've had this truck for a couple months now, and we've been working to dress it up for a couple weeks probably. And I wanted to make this quick video for the folks that had already spotted it because I hadn't revealed that I had bought it yet. And also so I wouldn't have to try to hide it in any more videos. I had a bit of buyer's remorse because I used up all the money I had saved up for a skid loader, and I was feeling pretty guilty. But as you might have guessed, there is absolutely no reason that I would need 2 single axle dump trucks, which means we are at the point of the video where I've got to say goodbye to something. This is no doubt a very nice little truck. I actually like the looks of it better than the F750. But on the first day that I got home with it, Kara realized that it was a 10-speed, and even though she can drive a stick, this is a lot tougher to drive. The F750 with the automatic is like driving a pickup truck, and this thing is more like driving a semi. It can be tough to put an inexperienced driver in this thing and just turn them loose. You got the PTO that's a little more complicated in here, and just the maneuverability is not quite the same when you're trying to shift and go from forward to reverse. And even though the beds between the two are exactly the same size, the cab of this truck is just bigger, taller, wider. The mirrors are wide enough that it won't fit in the overhead door on the second bay of my shop. The Sterling definitely has more power than my F750, and it would definitely make a better tow rig, but it's just not as handy to get around in. Another reason I've decided to get rid of it is because everyone that sees it still thinks it belongs to the local excavating company. They see me, or sometimes they'll mistake another one of their trucks for me being in town somewhere. And there's no problem with that. They're nice enough guys and all that. It's just, I kind of want to have my own identity, and I'm not gonna be able to do it driving this around. So yeah, I changed my mind a couple of times. Hopefully you can relate in some way to getting yourself in a situation like this. But I've decided to keep the F750 and fix it up like it should be. But while I do that, I'll probably keep this around for a couple months until I'm done and that truck's out of the shop. And then this will officially be on the market. And then maybe I can be back in the market for a skid loader like I'm supposed to be. But that'll be a little bit farther down the road. For now, I want to thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you liked it, and if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. So we're at the Hicksville cruise through. There's a John Deere tractor. And they're supposed to have some kind of indoor skating rink that isn't ice. So we're gonna go check that out and see what it looks like. It's like this poly stuff. It's like a poly. We're gonna see if the girls can skate on it.
So I couldn't imagine where that would be anymore. Are they supposed to hold tighter? Does it feel like regular ice skating? No. Well, I know, but does it feel similar? No, not at all.
Not at all. It feels like it feels like skating on like plastic.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay, what'd you guys think?
It was okay. It's just because of the ice was like plastic. It was a good experience, but like skating on the frozen field was better quality.
More fun? So we'll stick to the field. Hopefully we can skate on our pond, but that was a good precursor to the pond work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, back to the cruising. Gonna finish out the cruise through and settle on into Christmas. Speaking of which, we hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.